250 million years ago, Earth existed in a completely different world compared to today. At the dawn of the Triassic period, our planet was an intensely hot place, far beyond anything we can imagine. Picture this. What we call global warming today is nothing more than a mere joke compared to the searing heat that consumed the Earth back then. At this time, all the land masses on the planet had merged into a vast supercontinent called Pangaea. This continent stretched from the North Pole to the South Pole, from east to west, locking the land into a unified block. However, this concentration severely limited the ocean's ability to regulate the climate, making the planet drier and hotter than ever before. Massive volcanic eruptions, like fiery dragons, relentlessly spewed out CO gases, creating a thick, suffocating atmosphere that trapped heat. This greenhouse effect caused global temperatures to rise by 25 degrees Celsius, much hotter than today's average. Imagine that's 11 degrees higher than the temperature during the years 1960 to 1990. And this was just the beginning. In tropical regions, temperatures could soar beyond 50 degrees Celsius like a giant boiling pot of water. The oceans were no better. Think of them as giant hot tubs, with surface temperatures reaching 47 degrees Celsius, making the waters feel like an endless, steamy sauna to any creature unlucky enough to live beneath the waves. The Arctic and Antarctic, regions now famous for their icy conditions, looked completely different. They were wet, warm, covered in vegetation, and home to countless vertebrate species, including reptiles. In the long-lasting hot and arid climate, plant species developed unique biological mechanisms to survive. To cope with the lack of water and extreme temperatures, many plants evolved the ability to store water in their stems, like modern cacti. Their leaves became smaller, thicker, and covered with a dense wax layer, helping to minimize water evaporation. Some plant species even developed deep root systems to extract water from deeper soil layers, where moisture still remained. These traits enabled them to survive in extremely dry conditions. Along with the adaptation of plants, other animal species, particularly ancient crocodiles and smaller reptiles, showed exceptional survival abilities in this harsh environment. They developed mechanisms to regulate their body temperature and efficiently conserve energy. Mammals, on the other hand, have the ability to endure high temperatures and usually operate mainly during the early morning or late evening. Additionally, their size is quite suitable for the environment. Some reptiles also developed protective scales, which helped them minimize water loss and shield their bodies from extreme temperatures. These characteristics allowed them to maintain life in the extremely dry and harsh conditions, without expending too much energy or relying on abundant food sources. On the other hand, despite their enormous size and superior strength, dinosaurs faced significant challenges in adapting to the dry and scorching environment. The lack of food and water made it extremely difficult for them to maintain energy. The dinosaurs' ability to regulate their body temperature was insufficient to help them survive in these extreme conditions. While other animals developed mechanisms to conserve energy and withstand drought, dinosaurs depended on large and frequent food intake, which put them at a disadvantage in a harsh world where food was scarce and temperatures were extreme. Despite their large size, it was their lack of flexibility in maintaining energy and enduring environmental conditions that prevented dinosaurs from thriving in the early stages of their appearance on Earth. But the animals that had perfectly adapted to a dry world now faced a sudden change, a prolonged rainfall that would forever alter their fate. In the early 1990s, geologists discovered unusual signs in the rock layers, indicating a major climate shift. Instead of the slowly deposited red sand layers, they found thick riverbed rocks, lake sediments, and even traces of coal swamps, all signs of an unusually wet period. These findings pointed to the fact that, over the course of about 2 million years, a series of massive rainstorms and floods occurred globally. While the rain did not last for the full 2 million years, it fell consistently during this period, leading to massive flooding all over Earth. This change did not only affect small areas. It was a global phenomenon, from North America to Europe, from Asia to distant lands like the Sahara. Scientists named this period the Carnian rainfall phase, describing an era when continuous rainfall caused floods and dramatically changed the appearance of the planet, deeply affecting the life and development of species. These enormous rainstorms not only altered Earth's climate, but also played a crucial role in paving the way for dinosaurs to become the dominant animal species. At the beginning of the Triassic period, dinosaurs made up only about 5% of the fossil record of vertebrate animals. However, after about 2 million years of continuous rainfall, dinosaurs came to dominate, accounting for over 90% of the fossils found. The question then arises, how did dinosaurs become so dominant when before they were merely a small, inconspicuous group of animals? The true cause was the dramatic change in the environment brought about by the rainfall. As the continuous rains poured down on Earth, the climate shifted, creating conditions for plant species to thrive, particularly conifers like birch and cycad trees, many of which were quite large in size. Before this, herbivorous animals were mostly small species, like rhinchosaurs, which had small, low bodies and measured only 1 to 2 meters in length. These animals could only feed on small plants like ferns, which had previously developed in the dry environment. The moist, sometimes flooded forests became the ideal environment for the growth of giant plant species, creating an abundant and diverse food source for the larger herbivorous dinosaurs. These herbivorous dinosaurs were able to grow rapidly, far outpacing other animal groups. They not only increased in numbers, but also in size, enabling dinosaurs to dominate new habitats. With an abundant food supply, herbivorous dinosaurs thrived, providing a rich food source for carnivorous dinosaurs. This, in turn, created a new food chain, allowing dinosaurs to flourish and become the dominant animal species. However, there is still one very important question. What triggered the prolonged rainfall that lasted for 2 million years on Earth? The answer may be linked to a great geological event that took place around 235 million years ago, when a series of massive volcanic eruptions erupted along the range's mountain range, stretching across Alaska, Yukon, and British Columbia. These eruptions not only lasted for a short period, but also continued for 5 million years, releasing an enormous amount of lava, up to 6 kilometers thick. Furthermore, this event not only altered the Earth's surface structure, but also caused a profound change in the atmosphere, releasing CO2 and other greenhouse gases into the air. As a massive amount of CO2 was released into the atmosphere, global temperatures rose by 3 to 10 degrees Celsius, completely changing the climate structure of the planet. The increase in temperature caused water in the oceans and seas to evaporate rapidly, forming thick clouds that covered the sky. These clouds led to heavy and continuous rainfall, creating a phenomenon of prolonged rain lasting for millions of years. After about 1 million years, Earth's atmosphere had become warm and humid enough for the rain to continue falling relentlessly. So, what caused this rainfall to stop after such a long period? The answer lies in the planet's self-regulating abilities. Earth has many natural mechanisms that help reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, and one of the most important is the process of photosynthesis in plants. As the environment became more humid and plant life, particularly conifers and gymnosperms, flourished, photosynthesis absorbed large amounts of CO2 from the atmosphere and stored it in biomass. The wet forests, driven by the continuous rains, played a crucial role in reducing CO2 levels and regulating the climate, causing Earth to gradually cool down. As the evaporation of water decreased, the rainfall also began to lessen over time.